Libertarians, meanwhile, had a lot of complaints about President-elect Donald Trump's policies on trade, but they were heartened to hear Trump's criticisms of an imperious Federal Reserve and its chief, Janet Yellen, who seems unconcerned with the everyday concerns of average Americans. And one of those libertarians is former presidential candidate Ron Paul. He joins me now. He's also host of The Ron Paul Show. Dr. Paul, great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, David.
Before we get into the Fed, I just want to talk about what happened today, and maybe we can show the pictures again. You had this guy who campaigned for 18 or 16 months anyway on being the outsider, going inside the most inside spot in the world, into the Oval Office with the president. You once told me, I remember this very well, you once told me that most of your small government friends who were elected to office got co-opted once they got inside government. Do you think Donald Trump can avoid getting co-opted by the insiders?
No, I think Trump's going to be Trump, and that, raises a few questions because you're not quite sure which day it'll be. But no, I don't think he's going to be co-opted. I think there's going to be tremendous pressure on him because, I believe that there are a lot of special forces out there that put pressure on presidents, the phantom invisible government and the deep state. But I don't think he's going to yield to that, but he's going to continue to be himself. And, of course, that could go two different ways. It helped long-term on the campaign, but it also, stirred up a little animosity against him. So the big question is, how does this work? How can does business work, businessman work in government as well as elsewhere?
Right. Good
in
question.
other parts of government, it usually doesn't work. When you put a businessman in charge of the post office, that doesn't mean it's run as a business. So it'll be a challenge. I think it'll
be a challenge, but he's got a great team working with, a great economic team, most of whom we've had on here, and they know what they're talking about, tax cuts and deregulation and so forth. But the Fed is something that particularly has bugged Donald Trump in the same way I think that it bugged you and me. The fact that it's great for Wall Street, these zero interest rates. It's great for the people inside the Beltway who want to borrow without any cost at zero interest rates. But it's terrible for Main Street. Donald Trump says that has to change. Can he change it?
Probably not by himself, and I'm not so sure that he's going to want that to happen real fast. That would mean to either the Fed has a policy of raising interest rates, and they don't have the wisdom to know where to put them, or if you let the market work, the interest rates are going to go up, and that may turn this euphoria in a different direction. People might realize that things are going up. I think so far, the things that you mentioned, the lower taxes, less regulations, Dodd-Frank, all these things, I believe they're going to be quite helpful, yes, especially if he lowers the corporate tax. But the thing that I'm concerned about is the philosophy that is based on the Austrian school, and that is the reason you don't get new growth, and the reason we didn't have growth in the Depression and Japan, and so far we don't have it this go around, is that the correction isn't permitted. You're not allowed to liquidate debt and the bad investment which has been established. So the longer you have low interest rates, the more mistakes are made, and people just hang on to their money. And right now it looks like some confidence is coming back, but have we really liquidated the debt and the mistakes? And that remains to be seen. Maybe they can work their way out of it.
When you're in an artificial environment, as long as we've been in one, usually there's some kind of correction before things get better and go straight up. Ron Paul, we got to leave it at that. Great to see you, Doctor. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.